Hey, do you work in the barbering industry? Are you a barber? Have you spent way too much time over the last several years learning what it means to be viewed as non-essential? I know you. In fact, I've been you. You work hours every day. What is full-time now? 60, 70 hours a week? All those hours, and still you struggle to make ends meet. Well, the problem isn't your dedication to barbering. The problem is realizing what you don't know. Or maybe it's what you won't face. That making a living as a barber is a rough road. Thankless, at least financially. You turn out your best work every day for your clients, and yet you can't help but notice that you're still making peanuts. Hey, old-fashioned phrase, I get it, maybe I'm an old man, but it makes sense to you anyway, that you're working for peanuts. You love what you do. You really have a passion for building haircuts, for shaving people. You've worked for all kinds. In fact, you've worked with all kinds, both clients and colleagues. Clients tell you how great you are, but yet you still seem to squeak by just the same. Meanwhile, you have colleagues that do nothing but brag and boast about how great they are to you all the time. They don't seem to struggle, or do they? These two groups have one thing in common, and that one thing is they have supreme confidence and a lot of blind faith. So maybe it's two things. Anyway, clients have a lot of confidence in you. Well, your colleagues certainly have full confidence that they're so great. They have no doubt that they can provide the freshest cut and the dopest fade. Then there's you. Your purpose in the barbering industry isn't to brag and boast. It's to do what you love and to support your family and yourself financially. But where's the financial stability? Boasting and bragging isn't your style. You'd rather just turn out to your life's calling every day and make a living to provide for yourself. But you spend your days wondering how the hell anybody makes a living in this industry. Again, I know because I've been you. After working extra hours on extra days and even holidays, because you can't afford to miss out on an opportunity to make a little money, you work when others don't. You've even been challenged to squeeze that poor planner into a schedule where there isn't enough time, but it's a chance to make a living. So you do the one thing that you don't realize is crippling your career and burning you out. Now you make time, I guess by magic. You invent it. Like so many people around the world don't realize that time is the one commodity everyone has an equal supply of. But yet again, you bend over backwards and you work another miracle and you slide somebody into a space where there really isn't time for it, only to get to the end of the week and realize that, again, you were paid peanuts. You make enough income just to squeak by, or perhaps worse, you make enough income to continue to struggle. But you'll continue your barbering career, right? Because it'll get better. So when? When does it get better? Does it ever get better? Well, I can tell you, it will only get better when you stop doing the things that you've always done that have never worked. What if there's a better way? What if there's someone who's willing to show you every mistake they've made in the barbering industry over a decade plus period of time? What if I were to open up with you and share with you all the embarrassing and shameful moments of my history in barbering? Share with you my stupidity. Instead of doing what all your colleagues do, which is never back down, always promote the fact that their image is everything, what if someone were to take you by the hand and demonstrate to you where they've gone wrong? Well, maybe that leads to you no longer making the mistakes you don't even realize you're making. Maybe that would be worth something to you. But what would it be worth? What if you could learn what these mistakes are before you ever even suffer from them? Well, my name is Mitchell T. Palmer. I've worked in the barbering industry for well over a decade. In that time, I have generated $1.5 million in income, over 63,000 barbering services, and I have paid my barber employees over $1 million in take-home pay. And I've done that in 8 years. Recently, I also wrote the guidebook, How to Avoid Common Mistakes Barbers Make, Proven Ways to Get It Done. I'm the founder of the Beyond Barbering Academy, and in this academy, I've created a hands-on method for you to learn, to turn yourself and your career into one that will provide the one thing it's always been missing, a living income. So this is for barbers, but it's created by a barber. And I'm focused on showing you how to solve the problems in our industry for yourself. Now, I have deep experience in these topics because I've made these mistakes myself over and over again. Most of them I didn't even realize I was making until this pandemic exploited all the things that have always plagued barbers long before sheltering in place. I do want to say that I am not feeding you some line of bullshit. I cannot fix this for you. I couldn't, and I wouldn't if I could. I won't even try. If you're not interested in doing any of this work for yourself, working hard and being consistent, I don't want to help you. If you're committed, on the other hand, as I believe so many of you are, I'm savagely committed to helping you figure out what you've been doing and help you discover the mistakes that are holding you back from making a livable income in the career that you love. Let's make this one that loves you also by paying you what you're worth, paying you as though it's more than just a hobby, more than just an image thing. Instead of doing what you're doing now, which may very well lead to a time and place where you do it for your buddies only in someone else's garage because you can't afford the garage yourself. And all of that so you can continue your image and brag about your mad skills. Do you know somebody like that in the barbering industry? I think we all do. We've all worked with them. We might work with them today. Now, I know I'm going to piss some of these people off, these hobbyist barbers who thrive on the image that it gives them, but have no commitment to actually earning an income in the industry, which is what it takes to be able to keep doing it. It's time to get to work, but the right way. If you've grown tired of these things, the up and down of your barbering career, being fed up with the idea that the pandemic only exploited, which is the concept that by and large the public views barbers as non-essential, and worse, as a barber, you view yourself as non-essential too. It's time to take your future in your own hands. Take a stand and make your career more important than non-essential. Or prepare yourself for a future of lying about how great you are while being dead broke. I'm going to invite you to join me for a live webinar where I'm going to show you for free 3 tips to help you start making better choices and reclaim your barbering career as a paying gig. For free. I want to emphasize that. I don't get anything out of free. But if you'll follow these simple tips, you can start to impact your own career within weeks, days. Instead of an anchor weighing you down and taking everything you've got, all your dedication and commitment, but not giving you enough back to support yourself financially, your barbering career could be there to work for you. Yeah, all right, Mitch. So get on with it. Am I right? Are you getting this? What are the 3 tips already? I've watched these ads and these marketing campaigns like this one as well. But do you know why you watch them? Because you know something's wrong. Something isn't working. And you watch them because you have to get answers. Yes, I am selling something. Eventually. Only someone who wants to make better his or her career. Time is money, Mitchell, right? Where do you find time for this webinar? As barbers, you have to get back to work. You don't have time for this extra distraction. Well, let me tell you again. I've been in that space. I beat my head against that wall for over a decade. Are you tired of getting to the end of your money before you get to the end of your month? Well, I certainly was. In this webinar, we'll spend an hour and I'll show you the 3 tips and tricks for a successful barbering career. We'll discuss the 3 most important lessons I've learned in more than a decade of working in the industry, even while owning my own barbershop. The one thing that's important to understand is it doesn't matter if you own the barbershop or if you're a barber that works in someone else's shop. You have to apply these 3 tips to get your career where you want it to go. You'll discover in this webinar why you're damaging your career without even knowing it, and what you may want to consider next. The 3 tips. Tip number 1, is why you're not making enough money. Pretty straightforward. Tip number 2, why I'd never work commission, even if I had to start my whole career over again. And tip number 3, why clients who have money want to shower you with money and support, but they won't come to you. These are pretty straightforward, and I've placed a link to the registration page for this webinar down below in this post. And if you've grown tired of feeling like a non-essential element in your own damn career, and if you've decided that it's time for your barbering career to pay you back for the years of hard work and dedication you've shown with unwavering loyalty, maybe you're just starting your barbering career and you want to get it right the first time. Well, you can't miss this freebie. If you're ready to take the next steps to discovering what you don't know you've been doing wrong, or how to avoid what you never want to do wrong, don't miss this opportunity. I've tried to include 3 of the most critical discoveries that I've made so that your time spent here is worthwhile. And regardless of the outcome, whether you take the next steps to beyond barbering or not, it's important for me as a barber to help barbers like you. Because I wish I'd have had someone to show me how I could have avoided these mistakes for myself from the start over 13 years ago. My name is Mitchell T. Palmer, and now you know my name, damn it. Click on the link below and register for this free webinar. See what you don't know and how you might be able to take these tips and put your career back on track and turn it into an income you can actually rely on.